A chill in the air this morning for our first official autumn Trackwork show at Warwick Farm. We have all the latest from the trainers, looking back on the weekend that was at Randwick and ahead to the Randwick Guineas and the Canterbury Stakes. The 2-year-old picture continues to take shape with the Todman and the Riesling. And of course, how could we forget about a bumper day of racing at Canberra with Black Opal Stakes Day on Sunday. All the latest ahead of a big weekend. First of all, what did you make of Komochi on the weekend?
No luck. She got squeezed at the gates and Jason just grabbed hold and tried to get a spot. The time he was getting the spot, they basically found their spots in front and walked. And I'm not taking any away from her. I thought her run was good, but it would have been nice to have just seen a little bit more from her. But when they're dashing home in 33s at the end of 1400, it's probably hard to be eye-catching. But yeah, it was a race that got away, I think.
I think that was a feel for a lot of them coming out of it when you look at the race anyway, so it'll be an interesting one to dissect going forward.
Yeah, exactly. It was a sticky little track. It was wetter than what we thought it would be. There was places you had to be and stuff during the run, so it was just one of them days where you come away, put a line through it, and we get on. We'll head to the Coolmore now, and she'll get 51 to back, and we'll see if we can bounce back.
Let's look ahead then to the weekend, and a horse I've been really excited to see back in this preparation, and no doubt your team have as well, is NCAP in the Randwick Guineas. Just ever consistent, always puts in a good show.
Yeah, he's a little beauty, the stretch out to the mile should suit him. He switches off nicely in a race. He worked nicely out in the course proper this morning, he's recovered well. So just hoping for that low draw. His best runs have been when he's drawn closer to the rails. So hopefully we get that.
Be nice to us to have around at home.
He's a kid's pony. You take him to a horse show, no trouble at all. You tie him up to your horse float, go and have lunch, come back if he's standing there waiting for you. That's the sort of horse he is. So he's a pleasure to take to a racetrack. I remember years ago I've had horses like Rebel Dane and who are really difficult on race day, and you work yourself up. You're thinking, I hope this horse turns up today, or he doesn't hurt himself, or bite someone, or do something. But this horse is just like going to Pony Club with him. He's fantastic.
It's great to see him there, and I know every time I go down to give him a pat, the owners are always there. It looks like he's got a great group involved as well.
Yeah, he cannot be patted enough. He loves being patted. That's one thing. He'll actually look at you and entice you over somehow. He's a good boy.
There's a reason I always go over there. Let's look then to the Riesling, and in the fillies race, of course, you've got It's Czar Baby, who we're yet to see step out. What do you rate of her?
Her trials have been good. She shows plenty at home. It's probably a big step up for her, so for me to run her, I'd have to draw a low gate, a nice gate for your first start at that level. But I love the way she finishes off in the barrier trials. She did a little bit wrong the other day in the trial, wanted to hang in, but it turns out she'd stepped on a toe clip on a back shoe, and it was stuck in her foot. So lucky enough she didn't pull up sore after it, but she was feeling it during the gallop, and that's why she was laying in bad. But she's done well since, and as I said, we've nominated for that, and hopefully she draws a soft gate.
Next one is in the Todman. So interestingly, Full Metal Jack, you've either nommed for the Todman or the Black Opal, and we talk about the Black Opal being a huge card of racing on Sunday, 4 listed races in the feature Group 3 Black Opal Stakes. Firstly, we'll touch on him, and then I want to ask you about the Black Opal itself. What do you make of him stepping out for the first time? He's had a really nice recent trial. He's
a beautiful big son of capitalist. Trilogy racing with us, so it's great to have them on board now. He's been unexpected. He can gallop, but then he's just got better and better. I love the way he finished off his trial at his previous gallop trial, and then today he worked with an older horse and he worked brilliantly. So I think we have a crack at either one of the two. Historically, everyone accepts for both, and historically one of them comes away with a small field. So I'm hoping I'm in the smaller field. He's a really nice horse, whether it be now or later. I'm not sure, but there's plenty there. I like him a lot.
That's a good push for him. We talk about the Black Opal. It's not often that a horse has been able to come out and win the Black Opal into the Golden Slipper. In fact, I think only on one occasion, and it was Catbird. They have run well, though, and one of yours did in the past. Tell us about him.
Yeah, a horse called Delago Bolt. He won with Chrissy Munson, who won the Black Opal. He bolted, he won by about 3. Went the slipper pretty confident. It was a 3 weeks between runs back in them days. I trialled him the week before at Randwick, had him spot on. There was a choice to be made at the furlong. I remember Huey Bowman was in front of Delago Bolt at the furlong, and Chris was either going to go left or right, and he decided to go right. As he went right, Hugh Bowman's horse started to lay in bad, took him straight to the running rail, almost put him through the fence. Had to stop the horse. Meanwhile, the winner was following us, went straight through the gap that we were about to go through, and it won, and we were beaten like 2 lengths or something. We picked ourselves up and actually hit the line again, but that was the one that might have got away.
It's an interesting race given that it's changed dates a couple of times. It'll be 2 weeks into the Slipper this year. Obviously it has to contend with the Todman as well, but it is worth a lot of money and a pretty strong field this year, so they've done a great job down there.
Exactly, and you know, it'll be a perfect for anyone that wins it. There's been no excuses, that's for sure. You're going to have the fortnight to get through the race, and you know, but I've often found though, it's a high pressure race, the Black Opal, and it just takes a little bit out of them. So it's hard to have 2 grand finals in a row. So yeah, that'll be a little bit tricky, you know.
Joe, firstly, let's just recap on some of your runners from across the weekend. Tis Invincible, what did you make of her and what were James's thoughts post-race?
Yeah, obviously on paper she was very disappointing, but James just had to ask her to touch early to hold his spot, and he said she just over-raced after that, which is something she used to do a bit last prep. You can't really ask her anything, but she's come back a lot more relaxed this time in. But yeah, he said as soon as she jumped on the bridle after that, she just never came back underneath him and just pulled all the way. So probably looked worse than it was. So yeah, put up well from that. Probably go back in trip with her and just come out neutral next start. We know she's better than that, and I think she would bounce back.
You had a stack of runners at Flemington and a really great day down there. Of course, Southport Tycoon, Estriella and another Will. Will we see any of them head up to New South Wales soon?
It could be at some stage. Another Will, he will just go through his grades. Obviously, it was very impressive. Times were good. He's still a horse who's maturing, learning all the time. So we won't rush him. There's a benchmark race for him next start. Estrella, she was very good. Obviously, she's always been showing plenty. We had her here last prep. She's very good in Silver Shadow. She's matured a bit, and yeah, there's a chance she might come up for Yarrowfield during the championship. And Southport Tycoon, obviously, you have to let him get over the run. Yeah, he's Group 1 winner now, obviously, so we'll have to pick his races very well.
And you're relatively quiet this weekend, which is rare for you guys, so we might even talk about some of your runners heading into next weekend, but you do have She's All Class nom for the Winona. Will she take her place, and did she work this morning well?
Yeah, she worked this morning, worked well. She's still coming on, so likely to run on Saturday. There's a chance she will still need the run. She's improving, and she will keep improving, but yeah, at this stage probably wouldn't think she'd be a winning chance. She was off for a while, went to a breeding barn, couldn't get her in fall, which is why she's back in training. So yeah, she would improve on the first up run, but there would be more improvements come.
There's a stack of 2-year-olds I'm keen to ask you about as we head towards the, I guess, obviously Golden Slipper, but then some of the other high-profile 2-year-old races, the first of which is Erno's Cube. She is nommed for the Riesling. Will you wait with her, and how's she been working?
Yeah, good. Obviously, the last run was very good in the Silver Slipper. She's a filly who just keeps improving all the time. She still has some finishing to do. We have a nom for this week, probably likely to skip that. 2 weeks between runs might be a bit soon for her. More likely to go towards the Magic Night next week and then into the Percy Sykes. Obviously, Slipper is always tempting, but boys are probably better at this stage, so we're just keen to keep her against fillies.
We saw Spywire step out last in the Blue Diamond. Is he still going along, or will he have a break now?
We're tossing up after the run. Obviously, he had a fairly tough run in the Blue Diamond from that gate. Rolled forward, went very quick early. He still did a good job. He stuck on pretty well late there. He had an easy few days, and at this stage, still pushing on with him. Slipper is not out of question yet, but just see how he is. He might have another run in Melbourne before that.
And then I need to ask you about, as we head into what is a big weekend of racing, not just Saturday in Randwick, of course it's Guineas Day, but also on Sunday, Black Opal Day. There's 4 listed races, $1 million race day program, and a perfect 2 weeks between that and the Golden Slipper. You do have a few noms, so I might just ask you about some of those as well. You've got Odinson in the Todman or the Black Opal. What are your thoughts there?
Leaning towards the Black Opal. Obviously we could accept in both. Have a look at the barriers there, but at this stage looks like the Black Opal might be the easier of the 2 options. He's a horse with good ability. In the Millennium his run was good. He ended up on the worst part of the track there, but yeah, we're still happy with his efforts, and yeah, we just keep improving, but at this stage, yeah, leaning towards the Black Opal with him.
Another interesting one, Deconstruction, is further down the noms, obviously, but is nommed as well for the Black Opal. Would we see deconstruction on Sunday?
Probably not. He's in tomorrow and likely to take his place there. He is a colt who's showing a bit of ability. He's still learning. He's had 2 nice trials. Keen to get him started and see how he goes on race day. But he's a lovely horse going forward.
And then just, I guess, winding back to Growing Empire, who you also have nommed for the Todman. On debut on the Kenzo, we all saw he sort of veered out and came out through the running rail. All was well there. What has happened since then with him?
So he had a trial after that here at Warwick Farm last week. Trialled well. Just lost a bit of confidence. Obviously the Kensington track, which is the inside track, with the gap there. He just tried to run out and ended up jumping the rail. And lacked a bit of confidence after that. We gave him a tick over trial. He trialled very well. Just had a gallop here this morning with the blinkers on. See how we come through that. Obviously, we do have the Todman and the Black Opal as options this week. Just want to see how he is. There's no rush with him. He will keep improving, keep maturing. And again, he's not a horse with plenty of ability.
And mentally, he's come through it well, though. You're happy with how his work has been and he didn't miss a beat following that?
No, he didn't. Next day, he was moving 100% sound. I didn't seem to hurt him physically. Like I said, he was just a bit mentally lost a bit of confidence, but hasn't missed a day of work, and he's in good order.
In the Canberra Guineas, you have Tumbling nommed. Will we likely see him there?
Yeah, likely to take his place there. He's a horse who's always showing a bit of ability. He won well at Canterbury. Last start on the Kenzo, they went very quick and it was hard to make up ground on the day, so probably ran a little bit better than it looks. Back again his own age on Sunday, 1400 metres which suits. And it looks a good race for him, so at this stage fairly keen to go there with him.
And an interesting one you've also got nommed for a Class 1 is Mornington Pier, who was the last start winner at Newcastle. How's he come through that win?
He's come through that very well. He's always a horse we knew won a bit of ground, always liked him. He's owned by Sean Griffiths, who owns Griff also. He was good at Newcastle, still learning. He is a horse that could head towards Derby after that. So it's just a good stepping stone for him. Obviously, it's only a Class 1 maiden, but the timing of the race works well over 2,000 metres. And if he happened to win well, Derby will definitely on his radar.
Rob, firstly, I'll just ask you about Learning to Fly, how she pulled up from her run on Saturday.
Yeah, she's pulled up well. Obviously seems to have come through it without any issues, which is good. 8 and up, and she's moving nicely since that. So, all systems go. Not quite sure where we'll head next. We'll give it a few days just to mull over. But she's in good order.
Let's look to the weekend then, and a couple of other girls we'll touch on. Lady Laguna, who was second last time out in the Millie Fox we see here in the Canterbury Stakes. How is she ticking through the preparation? She's been so brave all prep.
Yeah, no, she's in super order. She's just ultra consistent. Very happy with her. Obviously, stepping up into that company, she's going to have to be on a game. But we've been really pleased with her and confident she can run another big race.
And then Castagna in the Riesling, who's the last start winner of the Lonhro. She's a beautiful filly. Every time she steps out, she seems to just come on from that. How's her work been since that win? Yeah,
she's been good. Obviously, we were in 2 minds whether to run last weekend or not, but just from that wide draw. So we'll head this weekend. She's probably going to need that little bit more prize money if she's going to make the slip of field. But she's a lovely filly. I think she's just going to continue to keep improving when she steps out. We've got a great temperament and very excited to see what she can do.
She looks a filly who will train on as well as a really lovely 3-year-old. Do you have that opinion of it?
Yeah, absolutely. I think she relaxes so well in her races. I see sort of no real issue with her getting out over a bit further. Time will tell, obviously, but she certainly gives you that indication.
Then looking at the aspiration, you've got Little Mix, who's second up. She resumed at Rosehill last start.
Yeah, really happy with that first up performance. She gets out over a bit of ground, so obviously as we continue to step up through the prep, but she seems to have come back in great order. Obviously it's going to be a handy enough race, but I think she's going well, so hopefully she can put in another good performance.
Really looking forward to getting to Canberra on Sunday for the Black Opal Stakes Day. They've got 4 listed events on the feature, so I'll ask you about a few of those that you've got. Firstly, dual nommed either for the Randwick City Stakes or the Canberra Cup. Hopeful, will we see Hopeful perhaps in Melbourne, did you mention?
Yeah, he's very much ground dependent. He's got a nom in Melbourne also, so we'll just hopefully rain comes in one of the jurisdictions, otherwise he'll probably sit out of both. But he seems to be going really well down there at the moment. but we'll obviously see when he gets to the races. But very much a horse that appreciates a bit of give in the track.
Redstone Well, could we see him back up from his run on Saturday?
Yeah, I think so. He did a lot wrong the other day. He was very keen through the run and only relaxed through the late part and pulled up without having too much of a blow. So I think undecided really. We'll just see how he is a bit later in the week before we confirm. But yeah, I think he's just still doing a bit wrong, not quite settled fully into Australian racing. Yeah, possibly in either of those options.
One who looks like they've come back in really nice order, resumed over 1400, Faulkner Park. He was one I added to the black book actually off his first up run. You've got him dual nommed as well there. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, he was excellent first up, obviously stepping right up in trip into either of these two options here, Saturday and Sunday. He's a lovely horse. He's a horse that we have plenty of time for. So again, probably accept in both and see where we draw, and that'll hopefully decide. Yeah, I think he's going well, and he potentially get out even a bit more ground later on. But yeah, he's ready to go.
I sound like a broken record, but again, dual nom, Bois d'Argent, either for the Canberra Cup or Randwick City Stakes. What are you thinking?
Yeah, a bit the same. He worked really well this morning. He's looking to kick off. Again, I suppose accepting both and see where we draw. Probably leaning towards kicking him off on Saturday, but draws will dictate.
Looking forward, as I said, to Sunday. Regal Lion you have there possibly?
Yeah, again, he had a trial end of last week. Sort of just gave him a little bit of a freshen up. He's looking for a little bit of form. Had a better run here a month or 5 weeks or so ago, but probably needs to improve a little bit. We know he's got the ability, just he seems to decide when he wants to turn it on. But yeah, trialled nicely the other day and ready to go to the races. Just decide a bit later in the week.
Canberra Guineas, then you've got Port Lockroy and Mickey's Medal. Port Lockroy first up. We'll start with him. Yeah,
he's in tomorrow, but he's drawn a bit awkwardly there, so suspect we'll wait for Canberra. He's a horse that improved a lot last preparation from where he started to where he finished. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing him resume. He'll get out over a bit more ground, but looks a good starting point.
Mickey's Medal second up off that nice first up return.
Yeah, he's improved out of sight. He's in really good order, good first up, unlucky not to win, and yeah, he'll run a good race wherever he ends up.
And then lastly, Bosusto, who's been, I guess he has had a bit of a tricky prep in the sense that he came here to Warwick Farm and was scratched on race day, and then he came up against a pretty handy one in Linebacker when we saw him last start. You guys have an opinion of him though? Yeah, we do. Yeah, we've always had a big opinion of him, and I think as he gets out over a bit more ground, he'll sort of come into his own. Ran into a really smart one at Hawkesbury. He's been in Melbourne now for a week, so we had a couple of goes working that way. Probably the priority is to head to the size down there, but if for some reason we feel like the race doesn't suit, then we just put a nom in for the Black Opal as a backup. But I think at this stage we'll head to Melbourne. And the Rosemont guys, obviously in the syndicate there, that's behind the name Bosusto, I'm guessing? Yes, exactly. Yeah. No, they're good with their name. So yeah, he's a nice horse. He's probably not quite there yet, so I think he'll be a really nice 3-year-old. Bjorn, you'll be a very busy man this weekend, racing Friday at Newcastle, Saturday at Randwick, and then into the pièce de résistance, I suppose, at Canberra on Sunday. So let's start with Thunderlips, who you will likely head to the Canberra Guineas with.
Yeah, he's been very good his last two, and I think the 1400 of the Canberra Guineas is a good option for him. So I think he'll run really well down there. And it's a $1 million race day on Sunday and 4 stakes races. They've done a fantastic job to bolster that program. Yeah, it's always good to get down there, and I've had a bit of luck in the Canberra Cup. I've won that a couple of times, and unfortunately won't be able to have a runner this year. And someone else driving you home, no doubt? Yeah, exactly. Okay, let's look to Newcastle then on Friday in the Newcastle Stakes. You do have Ita, a more victorious, and Diamond Dealer nommed, but perhaps wait with the more victorious? Yeah, I think we'll wait for the Ajax Stakes. He trialled really well last week. We're very happy with him. We'll be able to give him a gallop at the end of the week and then next Tuesday under that. So Rachel King will ride him there, and I think he's a very exciting horse for Derby. Another exciting horse for Derby is Malkovich, who's now third up in the Canterbury Stakes. How's he going through the prep? Are you happy with his work this morning? Yeah, he's going better than ever. He really is. And we've just had to change things up a little bit with him. He was very good last time over 1200. He is in the Newmarket in Melbourne and the Canterbury Stakes, which is sort of new territory for him out to the 1300 as well. But he's up and going. He's fit. We can't fault him. And I think he's in great order.
You've got a 2-year-old I was keen to ask you about. You do have her nommed for the Riesling, but as you mentioned, you might just wait with her. The well-bred I Am Says, the I Am Invincible filly for Singo.
Yeah, lovely filly, and she's trialled well and been a little bit hidden at the trials too, but she'll probably go next Wednesday at Kensington with Nash on.
Dave, I have to ask you about the weekend. You Quinnellaed the first race there and Jack wore his lucky bow tie, so it was a good weekend.
Yeah, we should buy him a few more of them. No, they were both good runs. Before the race, it was hard to split them. Both in good form. You know, Angel Fun was the last start winner, and Mad Darcy had run some good sectionals to start before, so it's great to see him back up their form.
Bindy's Choice heads up the highway for you to Newcastle on Friday. She's third up now in that benchmark 64. How's she come on through the prep?
Yeah, really nice. She's obviously won first up and run a nice third in town the other day, where I just think the slower tempo just sort of got her out of place, to tell the truth. I think she's still learning a trade, and I think the 7 furlongs with good tempo is really going to suit her, and I'm expecting a full field there on Friday, so she'll usually get tempo.
And what work did she do this morning?
She had a good gallop Saturday. Today's gallop was some more just to tick her over and get her ready for Friday.
And then into Saturday at Hawkesbury, you've got Sky's the Limit again in a benchmark 64. Was a first up winner, this daughter of Morris.
Yeah, she's come on well since her first up win. Expecting good things from this preparation. So I'm heading to Hawkesbury expecting hopefully another similar result. If she does that, well, I might throw on the deep end of something like the PJ Bell in a couple of weeks' time, but I think we'll get through Saturday and make a plan from there.
Obviously got a bit of an opinion of her, I can tell. Over Ice as well, who's fit now. You see her in that benchmark 64 at Hawkesbury on Saturday as well.
Yeah, she's a big girl. Last start she ran a nice race, but she was 5 weeks between runs, so she probably just needed that run to tighten her up. She heads to a distance that probably suits her over the 1800, and she's building fitness nicely, and she can be very competitive.
Winchat, who we saw on Saturday, will he back up, and will we see him run on Sunday in the National Sprint at Canberra?
So he will be nominated. I'm going to get Jade in this week to gallop him, and we'll make a decision together of whether we want to back him up, but at this stage it's full steam ahead.
He would have been happy with him on Saturday in his barrier manners. He seemed like he was really good. Every time he steps out, he's getting better. Yeah,
barrier manners were good. He just over-raced a bit mid-stages, and at that level you just can't afford to make any mistakes. You've got to get the 1%ers right. So, it told in the finish, and we'll come back and grade and give him another crack. But he's a progressive horse. He's just got to fine-tune his manners.
Is he a horse that still comes home and licks the bin every time?
Yes, he does. 95% of the time he does everything right, but it might be a maturity thing as well.
Chances are you're about to lose. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.